All right, the article says, many of the pigments in the Forbes collection are valuable and beautiful. Okay, when something is valuable, it's an adjective and it means it's probably very expensive or something worth having. The Mona Lisa painting is very valuable and probably worth a lot of money. Okay? But sometimes things are valuable not because of how much money it costs, but maybe because it is important to you. For example, if you have a ring passed down to you from your grandmother or your mother or something, that is also considered as something very valuable.
Even if it doesn't have a big diamond or if it's not made of gold, it's valuable because of the feeling and the emotion and the family story, not because of the dollars that are involved. Okay.
All right, so for example, we can use it in a sentence like this. The thieves tried to steal some valuable jewelry, but weren't successful.
Oh, that's too bad. We can also talk about things that you can't touch or see as being valuable, right? Friendship is valuable. Your health is valuable. A good education is valuable. It will bring a lot of good into your life. So it's not something that should just be thrown away easily and quickly. It's too valuable for that. All right, let's look at some of these valuable and rare colors they might have in there. It says 2 specific colors. These 2 colors we're going to tell you about are especially worth mentioning. Which 2? It says mummy brown and Indian yellow are especially worth mentioning. And that mummy, it's not your mom, your mummy, your mama. No, it's more like the mummy, like from Egypt. Like dead people wrapped up in tape or ribbon or cloth or whatever.
Stinky.
Yeah. Mummy brown, huh?
Yeah. So let's learn more about what mummy brown or what this color is. It says mummy brown or Egyptian brown. Okay, that sounds nicer. Egyptian brown is a rich pigment that can actually vary in hue. So that means this color, it can be a very, I'm guessing it's a dark brown. It can also be a light brown. The color varies in hue. And hue is basically just a different shade or a shade of color.
Yeah, when we talk about dark blue compared to light blue. They're both blue, but they're different hues of the color.
Vary is a verb and it means to make very small changes. For example, these diamonds vary in size and price, meaning the diamonds can be very small to very big, and also in the way that it is priced as well.
Now, if we want to paint a mummy, if we want to get the exact right brown for Egyptian brown or mummy brown, what would we do? How would we make it? Well, the article tells us. It says it is made from a few materials. So it's not just one thing. You have to mix a few, including ground up ancient Egyptian mummies and their pets. Wow. Okay, that's a very interesting way of making a color of paint or whatever. It's very unusual and probably very illegal these days because you're grinding up mummies. Mummies, as you know, are real things when they're not in horror movies. They're the dead of Egypt who were not burnt, who were not buried into the ground, who were wrapped up in sort of ribbon, in cloth, and their pets often were too. Cats were often made into mummies, but then you grind them up. Well, if you've ever taken a coffee bean and put it into a machine that chops it up into very small pieces, you are grinding that coffee. Often things are ground between 2 heavy stones. You put the wheat in there and it turns it into a very fine powder. So what you would do is you'd go to Egypt, get a mummy, and then break it up into a dust, into a powder almost, and use that to make the brown. Now, of course, these days, mummies are in museums, and they're probably also worth thousands or millions of dollars. But back then, I guess there were more mummies around. But today, if you made the color that way, you'd be in big trouble.
Yeah, you'd probably be in jail, and it would be very kind of, I guess, a disgusting process as well.
And everyone in Egypt would not like you.
You would be cursed. All right, so next it says the pigment was created in ancient Egypt. So something that happened a long time ago in Egypt. Definitely not something that happens now. But the color, the pigment, became widely appreciated in Europe during the 16th to 19th century. So people in Europe really loved this, I guess, mummy dark brown color.
Right.
They like to use this in a lot of their paintings.
Yeah.
So this was in high demand during Europe.
Very, very interesting. Remember back then, all colors were natural. So the rare ones, the really unusual ones, you couldn't just go to a factory and make it. It had to come from a special place. It probably cost a lot of money. But of course, people's minds changed. They started to say, hey, wait, we can't just be chopping up mummies. These are parts of history. We should put the mummies in a museum, not turn them into paint. So that's what the article says. It stopped being produced after bad press arose from using the human remains and from the challenge of actually getting mummies, right? Mummies became hard to find, and there was some bad press. There was some sort of negative public feeling about this. First of all, you're using mummies, which are parts of history. Second of all, these were mummies of people.
Yes.
Would you want your great-great-grandmother to be turned into a brown paint?
No.
Probably not. So people from Egypt were like, hey, wait, that's the king of our country from thousands of years ago. Don't turn him into brown paint. So you can see where this bad press came from. And bad press is our shortcut for you. Let's check that phrase out right now.